The air crackled with tension as the two titans stood across from each other. Muscles coiled, sweat glistening under the lights, their eyes locked in a silent battle before the first blow was even thrown. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Arnold Schwarzenegger, two of the most iconic action stars of all time, faced off in a fight that the world never knew it needed. This was not just a brawl. This was a war of styles, a test of raw power versus speed, discipline versus brute force. Fans of both legends held their breath, their minds racing through the countless action films where these men had fought against the odds and come out on top. But this time, there was no script, no stunt doubles. This was real. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Austrian Oak, was a mountain of muscle. His sheer size alone made him an intimidating presence in any fight. With his bodybuilding background, he possessed unmatched strength, capable of lifting and tossing opponents like rag dolls. His power punches had the potential to end fights with a single devastating blow. Moreover, his experience in combat-focused action films, such as Predator and Commando, had given him the mindset of an unstoppable force. However, Schwarzenegger's size was also a double-edged sword. Speed and agility were not his strongest attributes. Against a faster, more nimble opponent, he could struggle to keep up. His endurance was solid, but in a prolonged fight, his massive frame could become a liability, as it required more energy to sustain movement. On the other side, Jean-Claude Van Damme was a different kind of fighter. The muscles from Brussels had trained in karate and kickboxing, his athleticism and flexibility making him one of the most agile fighters in the action movie world. His background in martial arts gave him a disciplined approach, using precision strikes and acrobatics to outmaneuver opponents. His famous splits allowed him to dodge attacks that others wouldn't even see coming, and his devastating roundhouse kicks could knock out anyone who let their guard down. Van Damme, however, did not have Schwarzenegger's raw strength. If caught in a grapple or subjected to a full-force punch, he could be in serious trouble. He relied heavily on movement and technique, meaning if he got tired, he would become vulnerable. His endurance was strong, but taking heavy hits could slow him down significantly. The first moments of the fight were electric. Van Damme, knowing that going head-to-head in pure strength would be a mistake, stayed light on his feet, circling Schwarzenegger like a predator waiting for an opening. Arnold, in contrast, took a firm stance, his muscles tensing as he prepared for an explosive attack. Van Damme was the first to strike, a lightning-fast kick aimed at Arnold's ribs. The Austrian blocked it with his massive forearm, the impact echoing through the arena. But Van Damme wasn't done. He followed up with a spinning heel kick that just barely missed Schwarzenegger's jaw. Arnold retaliated, lunging forward with a haymaker. The sheer force behind it was terrifying. Had it connected, Van Damme might have been done for. But he saw it coming, ducking just in time and countering with a sharp elbow to Arnold's ribs. Schwarzenegger grunted, but he barely flinched. His body was built to take punishment. The battle continued with Van Damme darting in and out, striking with kicks and quick punches. Arnold, however, was patient. He absorbed the hits where necessary, waiting for his moment. And then he got it. Van Damme attempted another aerial kick, but this time, Schwarzenegger was ready. He caught Van Damme mid-air, wrapping his arms around him in a crushing bear hug. The crowd gasped as the Belgian fighter struggled, his ribs compressed under the power of Arnold's grip. For a moment, it seemed like the end. But Van Damme had one trick left. Using his incredible flexibility, he brought his knee up in an impossible angle, slamming it into Arnold's face. The Austrian stumbled back, momentarily dazed. Van Damme, seeing his opening, unleashed a devastating spinning roundhouse kick. This time, it landed squarely on Schwarzenegger's jaw, sending the giant to the ground. For a few seconds, silence filled the air. Schwarzenegger tried to get up, but his body refused. The fight was over. Jean-Claude Van Damme had won. At the end of the day, this fight was not just about strength, it was about adaptability. While Schwarzenegger had unmatched power, Van Damme's speed and technique allowed him to stay ahead. He avoided direct confrontations where Arnold's strength would dominate and instead used his martial arts expertise to wear him down. His superior agility and flexibility gave him the edge, allowing him to land precise strikes while evading serious damage. Schwarzenegger was a warrior, a juggernaut that could take punishment and keep moving forward. But in a one-on-one fight with a trained martial artist, sheer power was not enough. Van Damme exploited his weaknesses, outmaneuvering the giant and landing the decisive blow when it mattered most. As Arnold slowly got back to his feet, there was no bitterness in his eyes, only respect. He nodded at Van Damme, acknowledging the hard-fought victory. The muscles from Brussels had done the impossible. He had taken down the biggest action star of them all. The crowd erupted into cheers, knowing they had just witnessed a legendary battle. Two titans had clashed, and while only one walked away victorious, both had cemented their place in history. This wasn't just a fight. This was a moment that fans would remember forever.